It's a Saturday night on the borders of Wisconsin and Minnesota, and the start of another home series for the Duluth Huskies. Tonight, Duluth welcomes in the Minnesota Mudpuppies for the first time in 58 days. And with that, we welcome you into historic Frank Wade Municipal Stadium. Cal Friedman joining alongside Max Stapleton. We're delighted to have you along for the ride here on this Saturday night. A run where the Huskies are starting to wind down on their games. They were playing 12 games in 11 days. This is the final two games of that. Huskies were in Bismarck, North Dakota last night. They were able to split the series against the Larks. A tough loss on Thursday, but a big win last night. What stood out, Max?
Yeah, it was a fantastic series between the Larks and the Huskies. Both games were pretty close overall. From a player perspective, Jake Combs last night won Northwoods League Pitcher of the Night. He was the best pitcher in the series in either games. He threw 6 innings of shutout ball, only giving up four hits, 5 strikeouts, and 1 walk. He was absolutely fantastic pitching east to west. From a hitting standpoint, I want to take a look at Jonathan Vastine. Now, he only went 1 for 5 in the series at Bismarck, but he was able to get on base 5 times via the walk. He also had a couple of runs and a couple of stolen bases. He's a prototypical leadoff hitter in Marcus Pointer's lineup. He's become an invaluable asset, especially as we're getting close to the end of the season.
Talking about Jake Combs, one of the 3 Huskies to win Northwoods League Pitcher of the Night this season, along with Alex Potter, and tonight's starting pitcher, Jake Hamilton. One of the other standouts for the Huskies in Bismarck was Christian Campbell. He went 1 for 3 with an RBI single last night. That extended his on-base streak to 31 games. How phenomenal has he been this season?
I mean, he has been unbelievable, Cal. And we've talked so much praise about Christian Campbell, and deservedly so, throughout the season. In the series in Bismarck, he went 3 for 7 with 3 RBIs. He really came up huge in some big situational hitting moments. And overall in the year, he certainly passes the eye test, but I want to take a look at some of the statistics for him as well. Right now, Christian Campbell's 4th in the league in batting average, so he can certainly handle himself with the bat in his hands. He's 5th in RBI, so he comes up clutch, doesn't let the big moment get too much for him. And he's also 2nd in the league, or tied for 2nd, I should say, in stolen bases. So the game doesn't end after he's done at the plate. He continues to try to manufacture runs on the base paths as well.
For Duluth, after winning the first half of the season in the Great Plains East, it can best be defined as an up-and-down second half. Out of the All-Star break, they won 5 games in a row, and they lost 5 games in a row. They were able to snap that streak last night. But what do the Huskies have to do in these final couple of series this season to return to that first half form and potentially push to host in the playoffs?
For me, the Huskies' biggest issue sometimes is that they just don't field cleanly enough. It's very up and down on a game-to-game basis. You take a look at not last night's game, but the 3 games before that, they had a combined 8 errors in the field. And all of a sudden, last night, they played a perfect game in the field, a really just perfect game all around for the Huskies, and they ended up cruising to a win against the Bismarck Larks by a score of 4-1. So these guys, when they're playing clean in the field, and they do it more times than not, they usually come away with a win, but it feels almost like a guaranteed loss, I should say, when they don't play clean in the field.
So let's take a look at the Northwoods League standings with 12 games, 6 series left to go in this 2022 season. As you can see, the Huskies back in the window to host in this playoff game, with the Eau Claire Express being swept by the Wilmer Stingers, who have done the Huskies a couple of favors these last couple weeks. On the other side, it's going to be Wilmer and St. Cloud really pushing to see who can host in that side. But overall, we're coming up on August. It should be a great end of the season.
Yeah, it's going to be a close end of the season as well. And as you mentioned, Wilmer coming up huge for the Huskies, sweeping the Eau Claire Express. Huskies currently in the overall standings at 4.5 games behind Eau Claire. There's 12 games left in the season, including the game today against the Mudpuppies. These games are all the more important as we get towards the end of the season. Expect to see some pretty intense baseball over the next couple of weeks.
Before we get you set for tonight's game, I want to give a quick shout-out to Taryn Vavra, the infielder for the Baltimore Orioles. Made his MLB debut last night. A former Husky becomes the 300th Northwoods League alumni to play in the Major League. So a big congratulations to Taryn and his family, but along with the entire Northwoods League. We hope to see the next 300 in the league pretty soon. For all we know, one of them could be in action tonight. Starting lineups and first pitch when we come back between Minnesota and Duluth. This is the Northwoods League Baseball Network.